Mr. Chairman, right now Indonesia is in current need of certain development itself, right? We say that by us not recognizing the consented recording on state-funded tournament, will be better for the debate society development, and second, the debate at least will be more accessible in Indonesia, because we see the current status quo problems are first, that some debaters are, when they don't consent into certain recordings on especially state-funded tournaments, it can create an unclear views of this debate itself. And second, we see that by the less debate videos in the current YouTube in Indonesia, right, it can make debate less accessible, especially for regions that is outside Java itself. And third, we think that this is really harmful for the transparency from the government, because there's possibility of certain rigged system or unfairness in the current selections for the nationals and etc. Right? It can create many conflicts or drama and certain rumors itself regarding the selection. Our mechanism for today is first, without consent or no, the government and committee officials will record and can be posted in the current social media. But we say this current recording is only for the knockout rounds. And we think the VN is basically the government, and the committee is the one who is in charge in this. And we think it is all state-funded tournaments is for like NSDC and UDC, right? And also our mechanism is we make it an official rule that will be explained in the briefing and in the technical meeting and etc. This will be announced towards these contestants to begin with. We say that by the certain problem will also fix the gap of standards in the current regions of the current Indonesia debating community, where Java debaters usually is way better than the other part, right? We want to improve this and want to decrease the gap. That's why we want to make the debate more accessible towards others, so that they can improve and learn from this from this state-funded tournament. First argument, I'm going to explain on why the state-funded tournament is exclusive. Second, why it is justified to not recognize this consent. And third, why this is government responsibility. And later on, IDPM will finally tell you on how this actually will reach our goal, which is for a debate more accessible and for this to expose the transparency of the government. Moving on the first argument on exclusivity of the state-funded tournament. We say first, this state-funded tournaments when selections is among the best, right? It is good debaters that as actually the standard of the current country itself. That's why we see that is actually where the better contestant that people can learn from them, right? So coaches or debaters can learn and improve themselves for the future. And moreover, we think that the goal for debaters is to join the WSDC or the WUDC, right? So that they wanted to learn more about this current standards and the current criteria that people are looking for. That's why this can make the debate more accessible to begin with. That's why we say that the state-funded tournament is exclusive in this case, because it is more important towards this certain debating society to begin with. Moreover, on why this is justified for the state-funded to not recognize this consent or to take this right of these people, right? Because we say that the government already paid for this certain tournament, right? This consensus already gained privilege. First, they already gain better facility in cases, and they already give more money and give more recognition, even for future assets. They already certain achievement itself that this more legit recognition for their achievements, right? This privilege, we say that it is okay for a certain trade-off that we take their one right, but we give already lots of other rights and privilege to begin with. Moreover, after they already being given this privilege, we say that there's certain moral obligation for them to give back towards the state-funded tournament, right? Especially this in line with the government and NSDC goal is like to basically to proliferate critical thinking and for the proliferate the debating society in whole Indonesia, right? That's why they have the moral obligation to at least give back and give their videos to be taken for other people to be to study from that, right? And while we can improve this critical thinking, we don't see there's no certain harm itself, because moreover, this can be a learning material for the country to improve in the end of the day. Moreover, we think even if they say that this violates privacy, We say no because consent still exists in our case. Because, like we stated in our mechanism, we of course will announce this new rule itself, right? And we will state it at the briefing and, for example, in the technical meeting. That's why this contestant, even though if they want to really protect their privacy and they don't want any videos of them getting recorded, they can think about it again, and these contestants will be knowledgeable about the certain rules, right? So that they can still choose to opt out anyway, right? So that's why personal right of this contestants is there, because there's still a choice itself from this contestant, right? And it is not this offer is not limited in that point. That's why we say the significance of this argument is it haven't violated privacy. Yes.
If you have to explain the briefing, and doesn't that technically mean that you're asking for their approval before you can record them?
No, we explained that if we actually before, like for example, before the selection, we already explained and give out the rules, right? That's why if they want to opt out, they can. But this is because the consented recording is including for the participants, right? So basically, that really just here. Moreover, regarding the government responsibility, because this provides transparency, right, is to show that the selection is justified and to show the selection is transparent, especially at local tournaments where there is certain stigma that there's a rigged system or there is certain conflicts, or because there is no standard itself in the local selections and local tournaments, right? We say that this can provide a certain transparency and we can expose any of the unjustified actions or any unfairness in the current selection. That's why this is an effort of government roles to see that, and also to trigger them to be especially more just in selection. Moreover, this is as a counterbalance when there are certain people that accuse them of being not justified, because there are certain evidence that can prove on whether the reason is the result of the certain selection is justified or no. But even though they say that it won't be effective because the result can be subjective, we say first there will be still logical discussion and logical reasoning, and will follow the majority result in the end of the day. Second, at least open for improvements and critics that the adjudicators and the adjudicators will be more critical in deciding, right? Because they know that they will be held accountable if there is certain rigged system, if there is certain unfairness being proved, that they already be in part of this untransparency. That's why by this we already offered them a just selection that is or will be a form of already appreciation and also acknowledgement of people that is really deserve to get inside of this selection of NSDC and NUC. Proud to propose.